Trump has just been elected, and already the Democrat resistance is underway. Good morning, Kuhner country. Okay, my friends, many of you are texting the Kuhner man, emailing, messaging me, Jeff, will you be live on the air on Veterans Day? Well, as you can hear, yes. And to all our incredible patriotic veterans, I want to wish you from the bottom of my heart a very, very happy Veterans Day. To all of you that donated money to the DAV annual radiothon that we hold right here on WRKO on Friday to benefit our disabled veterans, thank you again from the bottom of my heart. And again, to all the vets, I hope you enjoy your day. Every day should be your day, but especially today, enjoy it. You deserve it. I would not be behind this microphone with the freedom to say what I want and do say without you. You have made this possible. It's all up. I owe all of it to you, the great veterans, and all of you that serve in our military and who have served for our country. So please enjoy Veterans Day today. You deserve it. Okay, my friends, this is incredible. I mean, I'm sorry, but I've never seen anything like this, really. This even dwarfs what I saw in 2016, if you can imagine that. So, Trump won the election 5 days ago, okay? It was called Wednesday, 5 days ago. And they're already resisting him. I mean, what is there to resist? He's still got 2.5 months before he's inaugurated. It doesn't matter. This weekend, thousands and thousands and thousands of anti-Trump leftists, including, by the way, many illegal aliens, took to the streets in New York City, blocking traffic, creating bedlam, mayhem, and chaos, and saying, hey, hey, ho, ho, Trump has got to go. And they are already calling for massive, all-out civil disobedience, and they are also now warning, whether it be Mayor Eric Adams or New York Governor Kathy Hochul, that they better do everything in their power to prevent Trump from sending in ICE and other law enforcement officials to begin deporting criminal illegal aliens. And it is not just in New York. It is happening now all across the country, literally all across the country in blue states. In Illinois, the governor there, Pritzker, another far leftist, anti-Trump, open borders globalist, at a press conference said, if Trump wants to come in here and deport illegal alien criminals, he's going to have to go through me, as he put it. In other words, Illinois and the governor of Illinois are going to wage all-out resistance. In California, Gavin Newsom has now come out and said he is going to turn all of California, quote-unquote, Trump-proof. In other words, it's almost open sedition. He is going to call a special council or a special session of the state legislature, and they are now basically going to say they are going to protect California from all of Trump's executive orders, all of Trump's authority, that they are going to nullify anything that Trump tries to pass and through Congress that will affect California. But in particular, they will not allow a single illegal alien to be deported. And here in Massachusetts, hold it Healy, as I pointed out on X last night, Governor Maura Healey has now thrown down the gauntlet as well. By the way, what is clear from Pritzker, Hochul, Gavin Newsom, and now Healey, the race is already on for the 2028 presidential nomination for the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party, the Democratic primary has already begun. The Democratic primary, for all intents and purposes, for 2028 has already begun. I'm not kidding. That's what this is really all about. It's now who can out moonbat the other, who can be more anti-Trump than the other, and who can be more extreme, who can be more militant in their opposition to Trump. So now everybody is trying to outdo one another. Well, Hold It Healy now says, and I want all of you to listen to this. She went on MS Left BC, and there on MS Left BC, she said Massachusetts will not comply with any Trump mandate when it comes to deportation, that in fact, she will not allow a single quote-unquote resident, i.e. illegal alien, from being deported by ICE or any other law enforcement agency, that she and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts will block any deportation, will resist any deportation, and furthermore, that she has now ordered the Massachusetts State Police to not comply or collaborate with ICE, even when they put out detainers on, I'm not kidding, child rapists, murderers, drug dealers, drug traffickers. It does not matter what violent crimes they have been committed here in the United States. If ICE says we want them, the state police will not cooperate, will not comply, even if they have them in jail or they're holding or detaining them. And she is now saying that she will prevent every single deportation from taking place. If ICE comes, it will be resisted. If any attempt to deport is asserted by the federal government, it will be resisted. So I want to be crystal clear what we are now watching across the entire country, whether it be from Newsom to Pritzker to Hochul, and now, of course, here to Hold It Healy. This is sedition. I'm choosing my words very carefully. This is open treason. And one of the big news that came out this weekend is that Tom Homan has now been named or appointed by Trump as the border czar. Homan is a border hawk, and he has now said openly, we have discussed with the president his plan. He has a sweeping mandate to secure the border and begin the largest deportation of illegal aliens in the history of the United States. Trump ran on the issue. He won on the issue. He was elected on the issue, and over a large majority of Americans support Trump and his border deportation policies. And so Homan has now come out and said that any sanctuary state governor, any sanctuary state mayor, if they do not comply, are going to be an open violation of federal immigration law. As I pointed out on X last night, what Maura Healey is now saying is not just seditious, which it is, treasonous, which it is. It is blatantly illegal. It is illegal. She is clearly defying and violating federal immigration law. She is undermining democracy and the rule of law. And think about this, okay? This is to me what is most disgusting of all. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts, as well as obviously California and Illinois and New York, and we'll see what other blue states join in. You are going to now shield, protect, and coddle? We're not just talking illegal aliens. The first phase of the Trump immigration, deportation, border security plan is to secure the entire border, stop the invasion, reimpose remain in Mexico, so now they can no longer come in, and go after first and foremost, this is what we're talking about now, the first phase, drug cartels, drug traffickers, drug dealers, convicted murderers, child molesters, rapists, and she's going to defend them? These vile scum? And as many people are obviously pointing out, look at the risk she's putting the entire state in. What many of them now know is, yeah, they're going to deport you from Michigan, and they're going to deport you from New Hampshire, and they're going to deport you from Arizona. But if you can make it to California or Illinois, or in our case, if you could just make it to Massachusetts, you're safe. It is going to draw in. It is going to become a magnet. We are going to become a magnet for not just countless more illegals, which is going to bankrupt our state. How many more of them can we take in? But violent, illegal alien criminals. This woman is insane. And now Trump has openly said, you go down this road, you defy me, I am going to cut off all federal funding to Massachusetts. All of it. No money for roads, bridges, schools. He's threatening to bankrupt the state. 619 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Again, I want to wish all of our incredible vets. You know how much I love all of you guys. And, of course, gals as well, all of you in the military and all of you that have served. A very happy Veterans Day. I really hope you enjoyed today. It's your day. Please take advantage of it. Celebrate. And we celebrate and we honor you. All right, Kuhner Man, obviously, live today. Many of you are asking, would I be? Of course, hey. Of course I'm going to be with you today. All right. It's time to go after Gavin Newsom. It's time to go after Pritzker. It's time to go after Kathy Hochul. And here in Massachusetts, for whatever reason, because she's been more outspoken and out front about it than, let's say, Pritzker or Newsom have so far, it's now a direct showdown. It's a confrontation already between Trump, President-elect, and I love saying that, President-elect Donald Trump, and hold it, Maura Healey. Listen now to Healey. This is the interview that has gone national and made news everywhere. She now wants to position herself as the leader of the resistance. And so, again, this is all about 2028. The Democratic primary has effectively already begun. And now watch. They're all going to try to out-anti-Trump one another. Here's Healey. She was on with Larry Stop the Hammering O'Donnell. And she says, no. He may want to secure that border. He may want to stop the border invasion. He may want to implement a massive deportation of millions and millions of violent, criminal, illegal aliens in our country. But not in Massachusetts. We're going to block them. We're going to resist them. We're going to stop them, even if it means we're in open defiance, open violation of federal immigration law and the federal government itself. Roll cut 40, Mike.
What Trump laid out, he's given us the playbook. Whether he looks to implement or make good on it, we will see. But we know what the playbook is. And I can assure you that I will work closely with my colleagues. And you will see state governors, attorneys general, other elected officials, mayors, working together to hold the line once again on the rule of law, on democracy, and on looking out for residents in our states. And that includes protecting rights and freedoms that we hold dear.
This is incredible. Again, I want to go back. Remember what the issue is, okay? The issue is Trump now, it's multiple phases, okay? Tom Homan now is the border czar, and he's been working with Trump. They have a plan. They have a big sweeping piece of legislation they're going to pass through Congress. So it's part executive, part legislative. But in essence, think about what she's saying. The first phase, and this is what we're talking about, is go in to Lawrence, if you want to get specific, go into Quincy, go into Fall River, go into, I don't care, name your, Brockton, name your Mattapan, Dorchester, wherever it is, where these, Chelsea, where these illegal alien criminals who have committed crimes, convicted felons, who are notorious drug dealers. You've got a 20-year-old Guatemalan who now has been charged, illegally come into this country thanks to Healy. Okay, Kamala Harris, Biden, and Healy came to Massachusetts, charged now on multiple counts, forgive me, child rape. Child rape. You have another one, a 28-year-old from Colombia, who Biden and Harris allowed to come into and so did Healy. Guess what now? Also, sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl. And ICE is saying, no, under Trump, we're going in, we're going to grab these people, we're going to detain, deport, and ship their asses out of the country. And her response is, not on my watch. This undermines democracy and the rule of law. Number one, Trump won the election. You are now deliberately thwarting the will of the people. You are thwarting the will of the voters who want these illegal alien criminals deported. These violent criminal illegal aliens deported. So you're not upholding democracy. And as for the rule of law, you're violating the law. The Constitution is crystal clear. Immigration is a federal priority. It falls to the federal government. Being a sanctuary state is unconstitutional and illegal. Frankly, it is open treason and sedition. She's undermining the rule of law. She's undermining democracy. And you want to stand there and defend them? Now, here is exactly what is going to take place. Okay? This is now the situation we're in. Trump and Homan, his border czar, have now publicly come out and said to Healy, to Newsom, to Pritzker and Hochul, but Healy now is the face of it. So it's first Healy. Said, you're going to coddle them? You're going to hide them? You're going to shield them? You're going to deliberately now obstruct ICE and other law enforcement agencies from going after these violent, illegal alien criminals? We are going to cut off all federal funds, all of it, for 4 years. All of it. Now, Healy has now come out and said, if we need to go 4 years without taking any federal money, we are willing to do this in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. What? 6:31 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer, 617-266-6868. If you want to be part of the show, okay, happy Veterans Day once again to our incredible vets. So, the left now, the Democrats, we knew they weren't going to make it easy. We knew they were going to obstruct and fight Trump tooth and nail, but it doesn't matter. He won the election. He has the mandate. And now, as they say, he has the whip hand. It's time for him now to crack the whip. So, last point, because the lines are jammed, I want to go to the phone lines. Maura Healey has now come out and said, incredibly, this is incredible. And by the way, notice now she's speaking for the whole Commonwealth. Have you noticed this? She keeps saying we. She has no authority to do any of this. She has no mandate to do any of this. To openly defy Trump and to openly defy lawful deportation of violent, illegal alien criminals. She has no right to have a sanctuary state and to block and resist and prevent law enforcement and ICE from going after, gangbangers, child rapists, murderers. Now, not only has she turned this state now into a massive magnet, Because I'm telling you right now, illegals are petrified. They know Trump's deportation is coming, and millions of them are going to get sent back. So what do you think is going to happen? They know if they're in Wisconsin or Michigan or I don't care, take your pick. If they're in if they're up in New Hampshire as an example, they're sitting ducks. But if they can just make their way to Massachusetts, Healy will protect them. It's going to lead to a massive influx of criminals. That's the obvious point. But this is the bigger one. Trump has now said, rightly, and I've been urging him to do this, fine. You want to be in open defiance of federal law? You want to be a rogue governor? You want to engage in treason and sedition? We are going to cut you off at the knees financially. All federal funds gone. Cut off all federal funding. No federal funds for the roads, schools, hospitals, bridges, everything. You name it. Healy is now countering, and Newsom and others are going to do the same. Fine. We'll just ride out 4 years with no federal funding. Meaning the taxpayers, me, you, we're going to be on the hook to continue to pay billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars for essentially a lifetime vacation for illegal aliens. Because that's what it is. The $64 a day per illegal, the 3 catered meals, the EBT cards, the prepaid debit cards, the Section 8, the hotels, the motels, the free shelter, the free education, the free health care, the free sneakers, I'm not kidding, the free Uber rides, the free lawyers, everything free. The free I'm serious, free dry cleaning at their motels and hotels. And so now, this is not Jeff Kuhner saying this. This is not even a Republican saying this. This is Democrat House Speaker at the state legislature in Massachusetts, Ron Mariano. Ron Mariano said before this fight broke out, we're spending $1 billion just on sheltering the illegals alone, these so-called migrants. $1 billion a year. That's just for the roof over their head, the hotels and the motels. I'm not talking, the food and the welfare checks and the prepaid debit cards and the education and the healthcare. No. Just $1 billion alone to shelter them. And now we're going to get no federal funds? Mariano said it will bankrupt the state. Literally bankrupt the state. And our taxes are going to explode. So here is now what Healy has done. She's boxed herself in. Either she backs down and Trump breaks her because she's going to break under the immense pressure, or she's that crazy and the Democrats in this state are that crazy to say, okay, no federal funding. No federal funding. We'll go 4 years, no federal funds. And every taxpayer is going to be on the hook to keep paying for all of these illegals and all of these migrants. Here's my counter. Recall. Maura Healey's already deeply unpopular. She's one of the most unpopular governors in the country. Her favorability numbers are in the tank. They're in the toilet. Why? Because A, she's a bad governor, but B, she spends her entire time around the country outside the Commonwealth. I mean, does she even spend a day here? That's what I'd like to know. So, she's deeply, deeply unpopular. She now wants to go to war with Donald Trump on behalf of violent felons and illegals and gangbangers and drug traffickers and rapists. Go ahead. It will be a political public relations disaster for the Democrats. And it's time then, recall. Get the necessary signatures, put it on the ballot, demand a recall, and let's recall her ass. Agree, disagree, 617-266-6868. Okay, let me ask you. Massachusetts is now leading the resistance, along with California, Illinois, and New York. They will not comply. They will not abide by the law and allow Trump to implement the deportation of criminal illegal aliens. What should the federal government do? What do you think we, the people and the voters, should do? 617-266-6868. Mark in Medford. You're going to kick us off, Mark. Thanks for holding and welcome.
Good morning, Jeff. You caught me off guard. I didn't think you were going to pick me first.
Go ahead, Mark. Let her rip, my friend.
Well, first of all, Jeff, I don't even know where to freaking begin with this. This woman on Beacon Hill is a freaking moron, okay? It's too bad, Jeff. She'll never go on your show. You know that? But if she did, the first question you should ask her, can you point out where in the Constitution it says that anybody that enters this country illegally has any rights whatsoever? That's number one. Number two, if you read the Constitution, if I'm wrong, Jeff, please correct me, but this is out of control. This is an invasion. And she can tell the state police whatever she wants. But if the President of the United States deploys the military to do the state police's job, there ain't a freaking thing she can do about it.
Oh, that's interesting. So, Mark, what you're saying is Trump should just tell them all to go to hell and say, you know what? I'm not only bringing in ICE, I'm going to bring in the military. We're going to go street to street, neighborhood to neighborhood, and we're going to clean out these gangs and these drug traffickers and these murderers and rapists. And what are you going to do? Have the police shoot at the military? In other words, we're going in hard and we're going in heavy, correct?
Absolutely, Jeff. And you want to know, Jeff, what pisses me off the most? That these people are willing to go to the mat, fight to the death to protect these criminals, because that's what they are. As soon as they cross the border, they're automatically a criminal. But yet, on the other side of the coin, our own people will tell people from FEMA to skip people's homes that have Trump signs in them. They're homeless. People have died. People are completely broken and wiped out from those hurricanes. And that's what you do? This is your priority over our own people? It makes me sick, Jeff. Sick to my stomach.
Mark, thank you very much for that call. Just very quickly, the story broke. It has been confirmed. FEMA has had to admit everything we said was true. Everything we said was true. FEMA officials were caught, and they admitted, in North Carolina in particular, they literally refused to give aid or help to any home or any property that they said had a Trump flag. Think about that. They said, no, leave that. No, that's a Trump supporter. Next one. No help for them. These are people who lost everything. Some of them lost family members, children, parents, brothers, sisters, whatever. The whole home is gone. Everything is gone. And FEMA literally said, or officials on the ground, FEMA officials on the ground said, if they're Trump supporters, go right by them. Don't give them any aid whatsoever. And it was only because that story was broken wide open that now these FEMA officials have been forced to resign. So, if you're a hardworking, tax-paying citizen of the United States, an American, who happens to vote or support Trump, blank you. Literally, blank you. Die in a hurricane. Lose everything in a hurricane. But if you're an MS-13 gangbanger, hey, we'll defend you to the end. 649 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. I want to wish all of our incredible, wonderful vets happy Veterans Day. May God bless each and every one of you. Okay, the text line is on fire. Lines are jammed. You can text us 70470, 70470, 617-266-6868. This is from Larry on Messenger. Jeff, what's this we nonsense? When did Massachusetts voters agree to give up federal funds? You're completely right, Larry. Maura Healey Hold-It Healey is acting like she's speaking for the whole Commonwealth. Like she speaks for every voter. This is a really, really good point from Paul on Messenger as well. Jeff, I thought that both Cape Cod bridges need to be replaced. How is that going to work without federal funding? Brilliant. I mean, you think these dumb moonbats have thought this thing out? If there's no federal funding, there's no money for the Cape Cod bridges or any roads or any schools, hospitals. I could go on. Infrastructure. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. So, and her argument is, well, the taxpayer, we'll just raise taxes on the taxpayer. You're going to raise our taxes through the roof to pay for all these illegals that you're sheltering and coddling? I'm telling you, she's begging to be recalled. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, I want to read one more and then go right to the phone lines, I promise. Jeff, the vows of resistance by these governors and really all Democrat politicians is being done under the guise of defying Trump. But what they're really doing is defying the will of the people. President-elect Trump has been given a mandate by the people and the voters. And at the top of that list for most voters is stopping and reversing this 4-year tidal wave of illegal aliens invading our country. The Democrat Party is essentially saying to the people, quote, this is our country. Your will means nothing. Our will means everything. And you're just here to pay the bills, unquote. Bingo. Bingo. 603 is completely correct. Completely correct. And that's why, I've said this to Trump, and I've said this to his people. And I'd love to have Tom Homan on now, since he's going to be the border czar. Arrest her ass. Make an example out of her. And Gavin Newsom, and Pritzker, and Hochul, and the whole criminal cabal. This is sedition and treason. You do not have the right to openly violate and break federal law. Never mind federal immigration law. Never mind obstructing justice. Never mind openly aiding and abetting. Remember, I want to stress this. We're not talking about illegal aliens. That's down the road. That's the next phase. We're talking now. This is the first phase. Convicted violent criminals. That's who they're going to send in to go after and detain and deport. And she says we're going to block the feds at every turn. So she's going to defend MS-13 gang rapers? She's going to defend these gangbangers? Drug dealers? If you want, I'll give you names. The Guatemalan rapist who molested and raped children? The Colombian who she let in? The illegal? Who sexually assaulted and brutalized a 14-year-old girl? That's who you're defending? These people are sick. Now remember, Trump derangement syndrome. It's what destroyed the Democrats in this election. I'm telling you, it is going to destroy Healey and Newsom and Pritzker and Hochul. Already now, you've seen a big red wave. Everybody's talking about it. Even in blue states, more counties are going red. This was a big sea change election. They go down this road of open sedition and treason and defiance. Okay, to me, this is going rogue. Literally going rogue. The Democrats are going to lose their stranglehold on power, even in Massachusetts. I'm telling you. She's playing with fire. She thinks she's going to ride a wave of anti-Trump enthusiasm. When people find out that the federal funds are gone and that our taxes are going to skyrocket and that criminals now are going to pour into our state. Oh, they already have, but even more because they want to avoid deportation. And what a calamity and a disaster it is. I am telling you, her goose is cooked. 617-266-6868. So if I'm Trump, this is what I tell her. You want to fight? I'll give you a fight. I will put you on my knee and break your back. Politically. 617-266-6868. Agree, disagree. Lisa in Methuen. Thanks for holding, Lisa, and welcome.
Calling you from the lovely state of Florida at my vacation home, and I'm going to give you a glimmer of hope. On my way down here from Boston, I had on my Trump Fight T-shirt the day after the election, and I had 3 people yell out, "I love your shirt." Jeff, I think there's a change in this country. When it comes to the state of Massachusetts, didn't Healy say that she couldn't handle the influx of illegals, and now she's going to try to stop Trump? If President Trump is listening, fight for her. Take away the money. To the taxpayers in Massachusetts, you can't hold your taxes until tax filing season. So where's the money going to come from, Jeff? And these people, the illegals who are protesting in the streets of New York saying they're not going home, you don't have a choice because I'm not paying for it. I would rather pay, especially on Veterans Day, I want to pay to help my fellow Americans who are homeless, who might have mental illness, who may be a veteran who fought for this country, and their government has forgotten about them. But now that Trump is in there, Jeff, the lunacy from all these people I've seen on TikTok, shaving their heads, wearing a blue bracelet, they're going to define Trump. It doesn't matter. There's been a shift, my friend, and we're in the red right now. The wave has come. Have a great day, Jeff.
Thank you, Lisa. God bless you. You're completely right. No, this is how, look, I remember I said this, I go, watch, they're going to be utterly deranged. I go, you watch the reaction of the left. Remember I said this, I go, Trump's going to win, and they're all going to lose the libs. The left is going to lose their collective minds. Now, here, I swear you can't make this up. Okay, please look it up. You've got young women in their, college age, in their 20s, around the country, shaving their heads in reaction to Trump's victory. And I'm like, why would you want to shave your head? And they're like, well, no, we want everybody to know we're that angry. Well, okay. I mean, I don't know. Okay, you want to shave all the hair off your head? Okay. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Now, listen to this. You have women across the country, I'm talking thousands and thousands and thousands, are saying now they're going to deny sex to their husbands or their boyfriends or partners. Like basically abstinence. No sex for you. As punishment for quote-unquote men having elected Trump. Even though their husband is a liberal, their boyfriend is a liberal, their partner, whatever you want to call it, voted for Kamala Harris. No more sex for you. Can you imagine being married to one of these women? I mean, like, hey, I voted for Kamala. Why are you taking that out on me? How come all of a sudden now there's no more hanky-panky? What did I do? No. You're part of the wrong sex. You're part of the wrong, your gender needs to be punished for voting for Trump. Okay. Well, I don't know. That's a great relationship builder. Oh, that relationship's going to work. Oh, yeah. My girlfriend's not having sex with me. Why? Trump won. What? Yeah, Trump won. Did you vote for Trump? No. So why I don't know. I have to talk to her. It's been 2 months. She won't touch me. You know what my advice is? Get another girlfriend. 617-266-6868. I'm telling you, you can't. They're losing their minds. And the more they lose their minds, the more stupid and absurd they look. I mean, they really, look, mental health issues, many of them serious depressions. They're seeing therapists, they're seeing psychiatrists. They can't handle it. Harvard, Columbia, all these Ivy League schools, like a bunch of petulant children, they shut classes down. They closed, literally, they canceled classes because Trump won. And the snowflakes had to process it, and no, I'll shave my head. No sex for you. Pathetic. Russ, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Thanks for holding, Russ, and welcome. Hello, Russ. Poor guy. He's probably being chased by one of these women who shaved their heads. Dave in Melrose. Thanks for holding, Dave, and welcome.
Well, Jeff, I'm not in Melrose no more. I'm down Revere Beach.
Okay, Dave, what's on your mind, buddy?
Jeff, who gives her the right to do what she's saying? And I heard that stupid speech on the news the other night. I'm like, serious, lady? You don't even know which way she's going. And, Jeff, nothing for nothing, but when I drove by Harvard Square a couple weeks ago, I was working late, and there was some type of protest going on, and I heard that big mouth yelling, "No justice, no peace." There were thousands of them in Harvard Square, Jeff. So I don't believe there's going to be a peaceful transition, because I have a feeling that something's going to happen the day when Trump's supposed to get all set to go in the White House. And, Jeff, this lady, I'm sorry, Jeff, but she's a dyke who doesn't care about kids. She hates kids, Jeff. She wants everybody to get an abortion, just like Kamala Harris did.
Well, look, I got to tell you, she's making a fool of herself. She's really, really, really making an absolute fool of herself. And she's embarrassing the state. She's embarrassing the voters in the state. And look, she has no right to speak for you or for me or for any of the taxpayers. So we're going to forego federal funding for 4 years? Literally drive the state into bankruptcy? We're already shelling out billions of dollars a year for the illegals. Billions. Okay, $1 billion, as I said, just for the shelters, for the emergency shelter system. The hotels, the motels, just to house them is $1 billion. Never mind, the food and the education and the health care and the prepaid debit cards and the EBT and the whole bit. Okay? now I'm going to pay, you're going to raise my taxes? And all of our taxes solely to pay for these illegals? Lady, you got a serious problem in the head, man. And she overestimates herself. She thinks very well of herself. She's never here. She's always gallivanting around the country. This conference, fundraising, campaigning. She's using the governorship as a stepping stone to run in 2028. And I'm telling you, she's going to get destroyed. She's unpopular here. She has no charisma. And now she thinks, what, we're going to be even more radical than Kamala? That's her answer? We're going to literally defy Trump and break the law and turn this state into a rogue state? And this is how, what, going to make her the leader of the resistance? And it's going to skyrocket her to winning the nomination in 2028? This woman lives in a fantasy world. And look, Seth Moulton, I don't want to, mix in too many threads here. Seth Moulton now has been essentially canceled and rejected by the Democratic left because he actually dared to speak out against men playing in women's sports, talking about his two daughters. And there's a jihad now against Seth Moulton, who's as liberal as you can get. And already you got the mayor of Salem saying that she wants Seth Moulton to resign. You've got Democrats now saying he's got to go. You push a movement to recall Maura Healey, Seth Moulton can jump in and clean her clock. Like, what she doesn't realize is politically she is very, very vulnerable. And if she continues to do this, I'm telling you, if I'm Trump, break her, break Newsom, break Pritzker, break Hochul, break them all. If you need to, send in the military and say, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Send in ICE. What are you going to do about it? And I'll tell you what, when you have no money and your taxpayers are in full revolt and your people are turning on you and there's a recall petition, then she'll be singing a very different story. So let her flap her mouth, because her mouth is now going to do her in. Dave, thank you very much for that call. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, here it is. This is what she said on MS Left DC with Larry, Stop the Hammering O'Donnell. This is the one in particular that has really landed her in hot water. Roll cut 41, Mike.
If the Trump administration requests it, would the Massachusetts State Police assist in mass deportations?
No, absolutely not. But, you know, let me say this. I do think it's important that we all recognize that there's going to be a lot of pressure on states and state officials. And I can assure you we're going to work really hard to deliver.
Meaning deliver as in deliver resistance. Okay? So she then goes on to say this. In other words, it's going to be all-out resistance now. And, of course, the crazy moonbats love it. The crazy, go Maura, yeah. See, that's all she's hearing right now. The silent majority is looking on, even in Massachusetts. And they're saying, are you kidding me? Are you nuts? More illegals, more crime, more drugs, more violence, more billions and billions and billions and billions of our taxpayer money right down the rat hole? Are you serious? Here is Maura Healey's response. She's going to do everything, she says, everything to block and resist Trump when it comes to deporting violent, illegal alien criminals. Roll cut 42, Mike.
Some realities also need to be, noted, and that is in 2016, we had a very different situation in the courts. And while I'm sure there may be litigation ahead, there's a lot of other ways that people are going to act and need to act for the sake of their states and their residents. There's regulatory authority and executive powers and the like. There's legislation also within our states. So I think that the key here is that every tool in the toolbox has got to be used to protect our citizens, to protect our residents, and protect our states, and certainly to hold the line on democracy and the rule of law as a basic principle, right?
Right. Says the one who's violating democracy and undermining the rule of law. No, I'm going to flip it on her. Trump should use every tool in the toolbox to send her ass to jail. He should use every tool in the toolbox to go after these sanctuary cities and these sanctuary city mayors and these sanctuary city governors like Healey, like Newsom, like Pritzker, like Hochul. Cut off all federal funding? Check. Push that they be recalled? Check. Demand that they be arrested? Check. We're going to do everything. Send in the military if need be? Check. Like, you want to use every tool? Fine. He won the election. He's got the mandate. He has the law on his side. So, you guys want to play? Let's play. Trump is vowing to crack down on illegal aliens and on violent illegal alien criminals. Healy and Democrats vow to resist. It's now Trump versus Healy. Who do you think has the moral high ground? And who do you think will now win this open confrontation? 617-266-6868. Russ, we got him back in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Russ, thanks for holding and welcome.
I hope you can hear me now.
I can hear you, Russ. I thought I was worried for you that those women that are shaving their heads were chasing you on the beach. But you're okay, Russ.
It worked out real well for Sinead O'Connor years ago, didn't it, Jeff? Anyway, getting back to Tom Homan, I'm glad to hear he's on board because this guy is a pit bull. However, I think Trump is going about this slightly the wrong way. Homan, as border czar, as a unconfirmed position in the White House, rather than as ICE director or DHS secretary, that strikes me as putting him in the wrong place. We need a DHS secretary who's actually going to secure the homeland, and we need an attorney general who's going to back up that DHS secretary in the deportation and border security effort. And I haven't heard a peep from Trump on those positions. Now, I think the position that Holman is being put in would be better filled with someone like Stephen Miller and put Holman as the head of ICE. And who are we going to have as the attorney general to back up the DHS secretary and the ICE director?
Well, Russ, look, you make a very good point. I mean, Holman is just a first step. We have to see who he appoints as DHS secretary. But if he appoints a border hawk, we're in good shape. So far, I got to say, Russ, every position Trump has picked, I like. Every appointment, I like. But it's not done until it's done. 7:19 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer. 617-266-6868. Okay. The Moonbats, again, I told you, they've lost their minds. So one of them emailed me. I don't want to mention the person's name, but basically saying that Governor Abbott in Texas openly defied federal law when he put up barricades to block the migrants, and now you're claiming that Democrat governors are defying federal law by defying Trump by protecting the migrants. You're a fraud and a hypocrite. Go ahead and send federal troops because I'll join the fight against them. Right. So you don't even have the guts to call and debate me on the air, but you're going to go out of your way. In theory, look at these losers. And you're going to fight our military or ICE agents if they go into, say, Massachusetts to round up and deport violent illegal alien criminals, such as drug dealers, child molesters, gangbangers. You're sick, man. You're a sick, pathetic fraud. Seriously, dude, get some mental help because you need it. And this is, to me, what I find absolutely incredible. Look at these insane moonbats. Again, I want to repeat this. The Trump deportation plan has multiple phases. The first phase, and this is the phase we're talking about, is to go after not illegal aliens who came into our country, broke the law. That's later. It's illegal aliens who are either part of criminal gangs, human sex trafficking networks, drug dealers, convicted criminals, or charged with very serious crimes That's the first wave. This is who Healy is defending. This is who Pritzker and Newsom and Hochul are defending. This is what is so disgusting. You're going to protect them? And you're going to risk losing all federal funds? And by the way, the Constitution, get this through your stupid brain once and for all, okay? Through your thick head. The Constitution clearly says that the federal government has supreme authority when it comes to enforcing the immigration laws of our land. What is it about being illegal that you can't quite comprehend? They came into the country illegally. They broke the law illegally. They're here illegally. They're taking welfare and billions of dollars in benefits illegally. And the country, in a large resounding majority, said, we want these people out. Enough. So you're going to defy the will of the people, the will of the voters, the rule of law, democracy for these scum? Murdering, drug dealing, raping, pillaging scum? Buddy, you are seriously sick in the head, man. Now, I'm telling you that this is all talk on the part of Maura Healey. You watch. The moment the dollars stop flowing in, she is going to capitulate and she's going to fold like a cheap suit. Because nobody in their right mind goes to war with the federal government over MS-13. Now, if you want, this is like shooting fish in a barrel. Like, this is how frighteningly disconnected these liberals are. That's why they lost this election. And they keep, and notice, they haven't learned a thing. It's like you would figure, we got our heads handed to us. Maybe we are dangerously disconnected from reality. Maybe this Republican landslide means we really misjudged the border and the border invasion. Okay, so here it is. This is just in Massachusetts. And this is literally the tip of the iceberg. Selvin Alex Galvez Mejia, 20-year-old Guatemalan, came into the United States illegally under Biden-Harris's open border, invited in sanctuary state Maura Healey. He was charged last summer with 2 counts of aggravated rape of a child. Okay? He raped a child. As well as indecent assault and battery on a person 14 years old. He's a child rapist. Healey won't hand him over. I'm not kidding. So, he gets charged. He's an illegal. And by the way, they found photographs. They found everything on this guy. He goes in front of a Democrat hack judge in Springfield. And guess what? The Democrat hack judge cuts this guy loose. Go back on the streets. Will not tell ICE. Now, ICE eventually nailed him. Weeks later, tracked him down. They have him. Maura Healey now says she doesn't want this Guatemalan, this pedophile, this alleged pedophile, ever turned back she wants him to stay in Massachusetts and doesn't want him deported. Are you kidding me? This is who you're defending? You POS? You piece of you know what? Here's another one. I could do this all day. From Colombia. Okay? Mateo Hincapi Cardona, age 28. Mike, I didn't hear you. Is that are we 10 seconds now? Okay. I'm going to come back, give a quick bio of this guy. More next. 7:31 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer, 617-266-6868. Happy Veterans Day to all of our wonderful patriotic vets out there. Please enjoy. Every day should be Veterans Day. You know how I feel about that. But really enjoy today because you deserve it. You've earned it. Okay, very quickly. I could go on. I could do weeks and weeks of shows just giving you example after example, just in Massachusetts, never mind the rest of the country, of the kind of violent criminal felons that Biden and Harris just in the last 4 years allowed into our country, and Healy welcomed with open arms, who now need to be deported. And she's now going to resist Trump and break the law openly, defiantly, commit sedition and treason for them to protect these people? So just very quickly, okay? Mateo Hincapi Cardona, age 28, illegal alien from Colombia. So this guy came in again under Biden and Harris. So listen to this. This is who Healy and the liberals are now defending. Cardona was charged in Charlestown with essentially enticing a child for child pornography purposes and posing and exhibiting a child in the nude. He's a pedophile. He's a pedophile. And he's trafficking in child porn, and he's using children, molesting and exploiting children, raping children, and then using them to take pictures and to sell it on the internet. Now, he's locked up in the Suffolk County House of Correction. Okay, listen to this. And run by this corrupt Democratic hack. Well, guess what? ICE gives this sheriff a detention order. We want you to hold this accused pedophile. Nope. Under Maura Healey, they cut this child molester loose. Yep, that's how they roll. Now, what Healey is saying is, you're not getting this guy. You're not getting Cardona. I'm going to defend Cardona. And you're willing to risk all federal funding for this? And you're telling us that we got to be on the hook to make up for all the federal funds? You and I and the taxpayers of Massachusetts? Right. Over my dead body. Recall. I'm telling you, if this is the issue, if this is the hill she wants to die on, then I'm telling you she's finished. So this red wave is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Because if they continue down this road, it's going to sweep them all out of power. So my question to you, Healey, Newsom, Hochul, Pritzker, others are now lining up. Blue state governors say they will resist, they will block, they will nullify, they will stand in the way and prevent Trump from implementing his first phase of deporting mass, violent, criminal, illegal aliens. What do you think Trump should do? And in this game of chicken, who will blink and who should blink? 617-266-6868 is the number. Dan in Florida. Thanks for holding, Dan, and welcome.
Hey, good morning, Jeff. Dan in Florida, formerly from Massachusetts. Very familiar with the scene up there.
Welcome, yes, Dan. Welcome.
Absolutely. Everything you're saying is a total problem for the folks up there. A couple cautionary notes and maybe a different way of looking at the solution here. Number one, I don't think Massachusetts is one of the 20 states that has a recall provision for governor. I just checked that online. You could have Sandy look it up, but I think that is the case. Secondly, impounding of funds might not be possible unless there's a provision in the enabling legislation that allows it, and I don't know if that is in place. But so here's a more strategic view. Let's not take it to DEFCON 1 right now. Let's try a DEFCON 3 approach. Let's work with the red states first. Abbott, get Abbott, get all the violent people out of Texas. Put the nonviolent illegals on buses to Karen Spilka's home, the president of the state senate, to Mariano's hometown, to Healy's hometown, and ditto for every other state, and build the heat up that way, and let them choke on their own puke.
Well, Dan, I like that. No, a lot of people are actually suggesting that. You're not the only one, and I think it's a wonderful idea. It's time that we said, okay, you know what? If you're going to take them, and you're the only ones that want to take them, fine. We'll deport them from every other state, and we'll just deport them out of the country. But if they can make it to a quote-unquote sanctuary Massachusetts, let the whole Commonwealth be overwhelmed and flooded with migrants, with illegals. We're already drowning several $1 billion a year. They'll find if migrants keep pouring in at this unprecedented level, then we're going down as a state. The whole state's just going to fiscally collapse. That's what these people don't understand. So you're right. No, what I would do is this. I would add one more thing. You want these illegals? Fine. I want them in your home. If you don't want these MS-13 gangbangers deported, and you don't want these drug dealers and child molesters deported, fine. Put them in your home. I'm not going to pay for it. Taxpayers here shouldn't pay for it. So you liberals want them, and as this clown who emailed me said, he's going to fight the military if they send them in. Right. Like all these Hollywood stars, they said they're going to leave the country. Notice, Dan, not one is left. Not one. Bette Midler, that clown. She came out and said, I'm going to drink Drano if Trump wins. Where are the Drano shots? Come on, time to do some shots now. Where's the Drano? You know what she did? She deleted her account. So they're all talk. That's the thing about these moonbats. They're all talk. Life's going to be better under Trump. They know it. They're going to make more money under Trump. They know it. They're going to be wealthier and safer under Trump. They know it. So, no, they're just posing and destroying people's lives because Healy thinks that's her ticket to winning the Democrat primary in 2028. And I'm saying call her bluff. So, cut off all federal funding, and you still want them? No problem. Every liberal with a Harris sign or Healy sign, you want them, you put them in your home. Notice, Dan, not one person will take them in. Not one person will take them in, Dan. Dan, let me ask you, do you think Trump has the will, the fortitude, the determination, and the vision to break this illegal resistance from these blue state governors on his border and deportation policies?
I'm sure he does. The issue will be if he needs legislative assistance, like I said, in putting these provisions into the funding bills that fund this aid to the states. He's going to have the House and Senate behind him. From the sounds of things, I don't think Rick Scott is the lead Buffalo running for state Senate majority leader. Excuse me. We're the minority. Now we're the majority. So he's going to need some strong help to get that all straightened out.
I agree. Well, I'm going to talk about that tomorrow, but the rhinos are trying to sabotage the Senate already. McConnell called early elections, surprised everybody, secret ballot elections, and the reason is he either wants Cornyn or Thune to be his replacement and not Rick Scott, because Thune and Cornyn will do the bidding of the establishment, and they're both horrible. I don't know who's worse, Cornyn or Thune. And they're both anti-Trumpers, and they're both essentially shills for Mitch McConnell. So we're going to have to get Rick Scott in there. And I think it's time for Trump to directly intervene. He's got to go public with this. He's got to say, I want Rick Scott. That's the man I want to work with. I don't want to work with Thune. I don't want to work with Cornyn. Musk has already come out and said he wants Rick Scott. And I think Trump has to weigh in now. Because you're right, we're going to need really good legislation to fix this country, to fix the border, to fix immigration, to fix inflation, to fix the economy, to fix our elections, and we got to have the right people. As they say, personnel is policy, And we got to have the right people in Congress to help Trump get his agenda across. Dan, thank you very much for that call. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, very quick reset. And then I want to go right back to the phone lines. It is not just Maura Healey and Newsom and Pritzker and Hochul. There is also now massive resistance building within the military-industrial complex. So listen now to this. There are multiple media reports that top military brass met informally. These were basically secret meetings to plot to sabotage Trump's second term. And in particular, they want to find a way to defy orders or undermine Trump when he tries to secure the border and if he should try to use the military to deport violent illegal alien criminals. In other words, there are saboteurs within the deep state. More next. 748 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, so just a quick exclamation point from my previous, what I had said just before the break, and I want to go right back to the phone lines. So this is now what the media is now, at least several outlets are reporting. It has not been denied by the Pentagon. And this, to me, is much more worrisome, frankly, than what these governors are doing. What the governors are doing is disgusting. And it's immoral, it's illegal, it's unconstitutional, blatantly unconstitutional. It's treason, it's seditious. But what you're seeing now from the military could do some damage. So, the top brass of the military, at least several members of the top brass, to be more accurate, have met informally since the election. They are now petrified that Trump is going to secure the border. And they are holding meetings on what they can and will do to openly or secretly both undermine Trump. And in particular, if he should deploy the military to secure the border, use active military troops on domestic soil purely to stop the invasion, they want to see if they can block him or prevent it from happening. Furthermore, if Trump should then decide to use the military, along with ICE and border agents, to go after the cartels, drug networks, human sex trafficking networks, these violent convicted felons, illegal aliens in these sanctuary states, they want to see whatever they can do to try to thwart Trump, undermine Trump, and sabotage Trump. The military-industrial complex fears a Trump presidency because there will be no new wars. Already now, Zelensky has spoken with Trump on the phone. He's ready for peace. We want peace, Mr. President. We're ready for peace now. We love you. Ukraine loves you. So, Zelensky now says he's ready for peace. Already he's willing now for a negotiated peace settlement. You know, it's amazing when you tell these corrupt gangsters in Kiev that the money train is going to stop. And you're not going to be able to line your pockets to the tune of billions and billions and billions of dollars. It's just amazing how suddenly, peace. Everybody wants peace. Peace. So, he's going to end the war in Ukraine. He's going to wind down the conflict in the Middle East. He's not going to start any more wars. It's bad for the military-industrial complex. Now they're trying to plot to undermine Trump. This is a cancer. This is a cancer on our country. And that's why Trump needs to clean house at the Pentagon, and who he chooses as his Secretary of Defense, molto importante. Very important. And furthermore, we need to clean house at the top of the generals, the military leadership. Obama purged him. Biden further purged him. And the guy I really want is Milley. Milley is a retired general now, former chairman of the Joint Chiefs. He was the one who plotted against Trump during his 4 years. He is the one that behind the scenes apparently is orchestrating these informal meetings among top military brass to sabotage and undermine and block Trump. And now it turns out, by the way, he lied. He now admits on January 3rd, Trump told him, you need to call up the National Guard. January 3rd, 2021, 3 days before January 6th. He told Milley directly, there's going to be a lot of protesters, counter-protesters. Antifa's coming, BLM is coming, everybody's coming. We need to have 10 to 20,000 National Guard troops. You and Pelosi need to make it happen, or else things could get ugly. Milley turned him down. And not only did Milley turn him down, but the day of January 6th, this to me is treason. He needs to go to jail for this. Milley then ordered that the military chain of command ends with him. He told everybody underneath him, you no longer answer to Trump, the president. You answer to me. He usurped Trump's constitutional authority as commander-in-chief. I'm sorry. He's got to go. I mean, he's gone in the sense of being retired. I mean, he's got to go to jail. He needs to be court-martialed in a military tribunal, and he needs to be put behind bars. And the cherry on the sundae is he then calls up his Chinese general counterparts behind Trump's back and says, don't you worry. We'll give you, if there's anything that happens, any war between us and you, I will give you, our mortal enemy, advance warning. These are the kinds of people that are running our military, for God's sake. And now they're trying to prevent Trump from stopping a border invasion, which, by the way, this is exactly why we have a military. Not to topple governments around the world, not to prop up these corrupt authoritarian regimes in Ukraine, but literally to secure the borders and sovereignty of the United States. That's the point of our military. And that's the one thing now they're saying they don't want to do. And they're trying to shiv Trump in the back, plotting already. As I said, the guy barely got elected. This is what I find incredible. He just won 5 days ago. It's already resist this, block this, undermine this. By the way, whatever happened to the mandate, to the will of the American people, to the voters? No one is coming into office with a more clearly expressed, articulated mandate and agenda than Trump. Thousands of times he said, I win, block the invasion, secure the border. We're going to implement the biggest mass deportation in American history. All those illegals that came in, they're going to have to go back out. And these unelected, unaccountable generals are in the shadows now saying we've got to undermine and sabotage Trump. We're not going to let him use the military to get rid of these invaders. What does he think? The people run this country? Damn it, we run this country. Clean them all out. He's got to do a thorough house cleaning. Agree, disagree. 617-266-6868 is the number. Maria in Ludlow. Thanks for holding, Maria, and welcome.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Very good. How are you, Maria?
I am fabulous on this glorious morning. Let me just tell you, I worked that night, and I could not contain myself. I had my headbuds on, and I was just like happy as pig on you know what. And it was even funnier to see in the morning the entourage that was starting to come in losing their minds because Trump won. It was like a vision to sit down with popcorn and a glass of wine. Let me put it that way. It was beyond ridiculous. But I wanted to say that also that Ludlow, Massachusetts, it was a blue little town out in the middle of nowhere. It flipped to red. Thank you, Ludlow. And another thing, on a more serious note, I think all these people that are trying to plot against Trump and doing all this stuff, I think phase one from Trump should include the F around you're going to find out. That's, you know, it should be part of that because these people apparently think that, you know, they have all these power and they don't. They don't. And another note, I am disgusted with Democrats, snowflakes that have, like, sent me nasty messages telling me that I should burn, I should die. How dare I not vote for a black woman? I'm like, now you know what a woman is, and she's not even black. That my son, because I am a special needs mother, for my son, that he should be taken away from me. Because Trump is going to come after all these special needs kids and kill them all. How dare I? That all this hate, I mean, just unbelievable. Like, I would die for my kids and for somebody to sit there and insinuate that I should burn and I should die for the choice that I made. How dare I take my daughter's rights away? I did not take my daughter's rights away. I actually gave her a voice because she had no voice. She had no rights. Any boys could go in her bathroom. Any boys could play in her sport. She had no rights. She couldn't say anything because they would be against her. I gave my daughter a voice. I am a proud mother of a teenage daughter. Her rights are intact. I am not worried about her rights at all. And I'm not worried about my daughter at all because she can fight her own little battle. But it's just so hateful for these people to sit there and throw these words at you that my son is going to be killed by Trump, that I should not have him anymore, that I should be burning for the choices that I've made. Shame on me. It's despicable. It is disgusting. It is beyond me that how these people can think like that and just spew the hatred.
Well, Maria, look, Maria, I listen, you should see the hate that I mean, you know, I don't want to like, hey, get into a hate competition. You know, you think they hate you should say how much they hate me. But I mean, no, Maria, I get that all, and worse. I get that all the time. And I'll tell you why. I blame the media and I blame Biden and Harris. I blame the regime because for a year, at least a year, it's been Nazi, Hitler, racist, fascist, and the problem now is people believe it. That's why I kept saying over and over again, this is so reckless, so dangerous, so irresponsible. But here's the shocking part, Maria, okay? Joe Biden, now over the weekend, admitted, nah, we're all going to be okay. I'm not kidding. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, even much of the media now, they've all come out and said, nah, Trump's not Hitler. Trump's not a quote-unquote threat to democracy. In other words, they lied. They lied. They peddled a giant lie and a smear that he was a threat, an existential threat to democracy. That he was going to be a dictator on day one. He was going to be a Nazi. He was going to be Hitler. We're all going to internment camps. That's why these people are going out, saying, oh, your special needs child, your boy, he's going to kill him. Like Hitler killed all the special needs kids. That's what you voted for. It was all a lie, a manipulation, propaganda to simply frighten and scare people into voting against Trump. And now that he's going to come to power in 2 months, next year, all of a sudden now Joe Biden says, nah, it never happened. It's not going to happen. We never believed it. Kamala Harris, we never believed it. The media, we knew it was BS, but hey, we thought it would work. As I said on X last night, I said, this is beyond disgusting. This is criminal, man. Because you see, the problem is you're being cynical. You know it's a lie, but you keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. Well, the Bills in Sudbury, they believe it. The Chris's and Franks in Gloucester, they believe it. The Bens in North Andover, they believe it. Those idiots that are harassing, and that's what it is, those that are harassing you, they believe this garbage. Here, I want to just play it. Here's Biden. This was him on Thursday, okay? So he comes out. By the way, he's invited Trump to the White House. So Trump is going to visit him for a chat to talk about the transition of power this Wednesday. So right away, people were like, but I thought he was Hitler. I mean, who invites Hitler to the White House? I thought this was it, according to you. No more Constitution, no more Republic, no more democracy. It's no more America. It's all over. But now you're inviting him and you're telling everybody it's all going to be okay. Listen now to Biden. It's all okay now. We're going to be okay. We'll beat him next time. Literally, we'll get him in the midterms. Don't worry about it. Roll cut 28. Mike.
It's a story for all of us, not just some of us. The American experiment endures. We're going to be okay, but we need to stay engaged. We need to keep going. And above all, we need to keep the faith. I'm so proud to have worked with all of you. I really mean it. I sincerely mean it. God bless you all. God bless America. And may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You can't make this, Maria, you can't make this up. Every day, Hitler, 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 Hitler. Internment camps, concentration camps, threat to democracy. We'll never vote again. It's all over. Our country, our democracy, our Constitution, we're all going to die. So, hey, we'll be okay. It's all fine. He went on another vacation at his beach house in Delaware. 500, Maria, you got to hear this, 560 days of his presidency, he's been on vacation. 40% of his presidency, all this guy has done is vacationed and partied. Okay? So, he hit him again. One more time. One more vacation. And a reporter, and the reporters now are like, they never meant it. They were gaslighting everybody. They were manipulating, lying to everybody. So one reporter shouts out, there's Joey. He's on vacation. He's going into an SUV. And they say, hey, is he still a threat to democracy? Listen now to Biden's response. Roll cut 1, Mike.
President Trump still a threat to democracy.
I'm going to see him on Wednesday.
I'm going to see him on Wednesday. In other words, like, come on. Stop with the BS now. That was the campaign. That was campaign rhetoric. That was just us BSing the American people, panic porn, fear-mongering them. Yeah. He's such a threat to democracy. This is, I'm going to see him on Wednesday. And I'll tell you what they're going to discuss. Can you pardon my son? Let's make a deal. That's what Joe Biden's going to say to him. How about you take care of Hunter and we drop everything against you? Everything. Literally everything. A quid pro quo. And this way, I'll tell you what. You want to pardon the J6ers? Well, pardon my son. Let it come from you, not from me. You pardon my son and pardon all the J6ers. So it's all like just in one sweep. So my family's left alone. We're going to leave you alone. Your family's going to be left alone. We made our point with the J6ers, even though those poor people are rotting in jail and have been mistreated and abused and persecuted. But and let's all, it was all in the name of politics, and let's all go home. So he's having coffee with Hitler and telling everybody we're all going to be okay and no big deal and everything is fine. So, Maria, those idiots that are harassing and insulting you and calling for your child to be taken away from you, you got to tell them you need to get the memo. Biden just admitted he lied to you. The media just admitted they lied to you. Kamala just admitted they lied to you. No internment camps, no Hitler, no Nazism, no fascism, none of it. Final word to you, Maria.
I just think they're all insane. All insane. And that's exactly what I've said to them. There's this beautiful thing, blocking. I have blocked so many people, and I've made it known. I don't care who you are. I don't give a damn. You could be a close family member. You could be a friend. You could be Pope. I don't care who you are. I will block you 2 days to Sunday. I don't give a damn. I am proud for the vote I did. I am proud what I have done for my family and for my country. And their lunacy means absolutely nothing to me. Means absolutely nothing to me. These people are crazy. They were fed lies, and they will continue to think that way because they don't know any better. They don't know any better. And the media should pay for it. The media should pay for what they have done, for spreading all this lies and misinformation.
Amen. Amen. I couldn't have said it better. Maria, have a wonderful day. And again, to all the vets, a very, very happy Veterans Day. Really, I love you guys. Please enjoy the day. You deserve it. Here, look, I want to spend time with callers. I don't want to play so many clips. But here, you got to hear this. This is unbelievable. So, Jackie Heinrich, okay, and she's one of the good reporters at Fox News. So she goes after Karine Jean-Pierre, Minister of Propaganda. And she's asking, by the way, what many in the press room were saying. They go like, what is this? All of a sudden, it's all gone? The Hitler, Nazism, fascism, it's like it just disappeared. Like, where everything is fine, nothing's going to... No. And they're all like, yeah, we lied. We lied to you. What am I going to say? So, listen now to Jackie Heinrich saying, I'm sorry, what do you say to all your voters? You kept telling them it's the end of democracy. It's the end of the country. No one will ever vote again if Trump wins. The sky is falling. And now all of a sudden we're all going to be okay? Listen to this. Roll cut 30, Mike.
That's important. Example is the message to people who are fearful based on what the messaging was about the state.
Well, now you're just twisting everything around, and that's really unfair. No, it is. No, Jackie, it's unfair because I've been standing here trying to be very respectful to what happened the last two nights ago. Being respectful. I've been standing here saying that we respect the decision that the American people made. I've been standing here and saying that the president's going to put the American people first. I've been standing here talking about how the president's going to make sure that they get what they deserve, which is a peaceful transfer of power. I do not appreciate having my words twisted. That is, I have been very clear, very, very, very clear about what the president wants to do, and the vice president. We want to make sure that we deliver for the American people. They deserve a peaceful transfer of power, and that's what you're going to see. Thanks, everybody.
Well, and she just runs out. And Jackie Heinrich, but what happened to Hitler? I'm sorry, with Hitler, there's no peaceful transfer of power. He's Hitler. It was all a massive lie. Misinformation, disinformation, and the dumb moonbats bought it. 8:19 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, liberalism's worst nightmare, baby. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, my friends, I want to ask you. It's the Kuhner Country poll question of the day, sponsored by Mario's. Mario's quality roofing, siding, and windows. if a blue state or a blue state governor blocks the deportation of illegal alien criminals, should President Trump use the military to get them deported? In other words, let's say what Healy vows to do, or Newsom, or Pritzker, or Hochul, or whatever. If they say no, if they step in and prevent the deportation of illegal alien criminals, should Trump activate the military to send them in and have these illegals deported? A, yes. B, no. I am an A, yes, all the way. I mean, if this is not what the military is for, I don't know what it's not for. I mean, to me, that's what it's for. Stop an invasion and get invaders out of your country. But that's me. I want to hear from you. You can vote on our webpage, wrko.com/Kuhner, wrko.com/Kuhner, KUHN is in national ER. You can also vote via X, very active on X. My handle there, at the Kuhner Report, all one word, KUHN is in national ER. Andy in Milford. Thanks for holding, Andy, and welcome.
Good morning, Jeff.
Andy.
Hey, good morning, Jeff.
How are you, Andy? What's on your mind?
Well, doing very well. Hey, these generals in the military that are quietly conspiring to oppose Trump, all the moonbats, and even Governor Maura Healey and others, there's one very important thing they're missing, and that's this. Their team are the ones that got in that DOD directive that did away with posse comitatus. There's now nothing standing in the way of President Trump using the military to enforce immigration law. And also, as far as any rioting, looting, or burning that the left might have planned, guess what? There's now nothing standing in the way of President Trump invoking the Insurrection Act of 1807. Posse comitatus is like the only thing that could have stood in his way. Their team's the one that got rid of it. So it's like, who's fooling who at this point? Now,
Andy, that's a great point. And look, I know Trump's going to use a lot of, hard power, as they say. He's going to use law enforcement, border patrol agents. They're going to hire an army of border patrol. If he needs to, I think he will use the military. Honestly, Andy, I think he's just going to use the military on the southern border and to go after the drug cartels. He is going to declare them a terrorist organization, and he is going to hammer these drug cartels in Mexico. So I think that's where he's going to really use the military. But he's also going to attack the illegals from another front. And this is what people don't see. This is why Healy's really fighting a losing battle. He's going to cut off all the welfare. Holman has told all the corporations, all the businesses, we better not catch you hiring illegals, because we are going to fine you to Palookaville. We are going to fine you into oblivion. You're going to lose a ton of money. Don't do it. So if you have them, get rid of them. So if the illegals can't get jobs, if the illegals can't get food stamps or welfare or housing or shelter or health care, what do you think is going to happen? Many of them are going to self-deport. They're just going to leave on their own. Already, just the fact that Trump won, just that fact alone, you've got all these migrants turning back. Like already it's, this tidal wave of migrants illegals invading our country, it's now down to a trickle. So you're going to start to see, if you go after the welfare, you go after their ability to work, You go after their ability to get free housing. You go after all the free stuff and combine that with serious deportation. This thing could go, he could reverse this within a couple of years. And the American people want him out. I can't tell you what the overwhelming support that Trump now has. So I got these crazy moonbats, and Maria in Ludlow is completely right. I'm telling you, Andy, they've really lost their minds. They're unhinged. I don't say that as an insult. These people are texting me and emailing me saying Healy is not going to take the federal funds. In other words, Trump's going to cut off all federal funding. She's not going to cave. She's going to raise taxes through the roof. And they're telling you, you're going to pay those taxes. And if you don't like it, you can go to Florida. And I'm thinking, okay, you realize you pay taxes too, right? Like, don't you realize everyone's taxes are going to go up? So you're going to financially break this state, bankrupt it, and you want to chase me out of Massachusetts. Remember, I'm still going to stay on the air. You're not taking my voice off WRKO. Here's what you're taking away. All my tax money. And thousands like me. So you're going to destroy the tax base and flood the country with third world illegals. They're insane. 8:30 on the Greg WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer, 617-266-6868. Okay, Kuhner country, please, you need to hear me on this. 9 o'clock, I've got a story for you. 9 o'clock, you got to hear it to believe it. So please, whatever you're doing, tune in at 9 o'clock. Appointment listening. 617-266-6868 is the number. Happy Veterans Day again to our incredible vets. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for your wonderful service, your patriotism, and everything you've done for our country. 617-266-6868. All right, lines are on fire. Ronnie in Boston. Thanks for holding, Ronnie, and welcome.
Hey, good morning, Jeff. And
Ronnie,
happy Veterans Day.
How are you, my friend?
Oh, I've never been better, Jeff. Maura Healey is losing her mind because she's lost her mandate, Jeff. 61% of young people 18 to 29 broke for Trump. That's why we're not seeing massive protests in the streets this time around, as opposed to the first time Trump won. Those are all young people, and the Democrats have lost them. I'm talking about the single mother that can't go down to the benefits office without it being an all-day affair because a sea of illegals are in front of them, taking up housing, taking up benefits. I'm talking about the young people that just graduated college with a massive college debt on their shoulders, trying to navigate their way through $2,000 a month rents for apartments. Democrats have lost all those people. And the big secret, grocery prices aren't so expensive because of fuel. Grocery prices are so expensive because Democrats dumped 25 million hungry bellies into our food chain supply, our network of grocery stores. So when you've got 25 million more people at all our grocery stores, of course the price is going to go up because of illegals. And all Trump has to do is keep making that argument to young people. If I were to snap my fingers right now and every illegal in this country disappeared, you'd have rents for $600 a month. All of you single mothers would have your benefits restored. You'd be living in safe housing complexes and units, and to everybody else, your food prices would become reasonable and crime would go down. And the biggest evidence that what I'm saying is completely true is that the biggest leftist influencers on YouTube that these young people listen to, like David Pakman, like Destiny, like Vosh, since election night, Jeff, they are losing thousands of subscribers per day, and they're making frantic videos begging people to come back because they've been wrong for so long, you know? So no, they've completely lost their mandate with young people. Young people have suffered so heavily under illegal immigration that Maura Healey can scream and yell all she wants, but those voters are gone, and she's not going to get the civil unrest and massive protests in the streets that she's expecting. Same for all these other liberal state governors.
Well, Ronnie, and that was the point I was making earlier. By the way, you really articulated it extremely well. Really, just a brilliant, coherent mini monologue. And Ronnie, just to piggyback off of what you said, I said politically, Maura Healey, her unfavorability numbers, she's underwater. She's already unpopular. She's never here. She's always traveling. She's always raising money. She's more interested in running for the Democrat presidential primary in 2028 than she is in taking care of, potholes and bridges and infrastructure. Now she wants to go to war with Trump over these scumbag criminal illegals. I mean, it's mind-blowing. Ronnie, I want to play a cut because you're completely right. Trump won the youth vote. He got single moms. He got white women. He got black men. He won with Latinos. He won with Asians. He won with Jews. He won with Arab and Muslim Americans. This is the most diverse, multiracial, multi-ethnic coalition maybe in the history of the United States. What we're watching now is history in the making. And yet, the more you see that Trump has expanded the tent, you see Democrats and liberals, when I say losing their minds, some of them are going insane. Now, I want to play this cut. This is Whoopi Goldberg on The View. And I never thought I would hear this kind of rhetoric anywhere in American television. This reminds me, I'm not kidding, of Uganda under Idi Amin, the Bolsheviks under Stalin. Listen now to how she goes after grocery store owners, saying, don't you dare blame Joe Biden, or in this case, Ronnie, illegals, for the reason why food prices are way up, grocery prices are way up. No. You want to know who is to blame? Listen to this. Roll cut 13, Whoopi Goldberg on The View. Play it, Mike.
Let's talk about the real stuff. Your pocketbook's bad, not because the Bidens did anything, not because the economy is bad. Your grocery bills are what they are is because the folks that own the groceries are pigs.
Yeah, but no one articulated that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that let's talk about the reasons why gas is high, not because the Bidens didn't try to help, but because the folks who control that decided, I want more money.
It's the pigs, Ronnie. The price gouging capitalist pigs are the reason why. It's not Biden and printing all that money or bringing in all these illegals. No, Ronnie. It's the capitalist price gouging pigs. What say you?
What I say is that this is exactly why Democrats lost so badly on election night and why they have no chance of winning unless they concede the fact that just as many Democrats as Republicans are tired of illegal immigration and have suffered mightily under it. Your no human being is illegal crowd was what Democrats relied on the most for mobilizing in the streets, for creating unrest, for votes, and they've lost them all. They've lost those single mothers. They've lost those college-educated young people. They've lost them, and they'll never get them back unless they cooperate on illegal immigration and drastically modify their message to the American people. Or the midterms are going to be a bloodbath, and we're going to see Republican rule for the next 12 years if Democrats don't change. And we'll see if their survival instincts kick in or not. But Maura Healey can throw every tantrum in the world she wants. Change is coming. There's nothing she can do about it, and no one knows that better than Maura Healey and the Democrat establishment.
Amen. Ronnie, thank you very, very much for that call. As always, outstanding call. 617-266-6868. Now, just so that everybody knows, just super quick, okay? Whatever you think about your local grocery store, my neck of the woods, Big Y, Stop and Shop, Shaw's. I don't have a Market Basket. I've been to Market Basket. I love their prices, but I just don't have one near my area. But my point is just this. Ask them. Their profit margin is razor thin. This is, experts have corroborated this. Journalists have corroborated this. Grocery store owners. Everybody's, this is like saying the sky is blue. So your local grocery store, just remember that every time you go in, 1 to 2% profit margin. That's it. The margins are low. Believe me, they're not making big money. Contrary to what, Whoopi Goldberg thinks. So if you think, oh yeah, we love to raise prices. No, they raise prices. People don't shop. People don't shop. There's no money. There's no revenue. There's no revenue. They go under. So this idea that, these are capitalist pigs, that's communism. Inflation is always caused by government printing money. Always. Remember this. Inflation it stems from Washington. The government spends too much, and then it's got to print money to pay for all these massive deficits. So, inflation is directly caused by the government. Only the government can cause inflation. So, they're trying to scapegoat grocery store owners. Now, just very quick, the Grocery Store Owners Association have blasted Whoopi. I've never seen a backlash like this. They're saying, I don't know what price gouging this woman is talking about. Okay, but calling us pigs and trying to say, you're paying more because of us. You are putting our employees a target on their backs. Because there are a lot of crazy moonbats. This part I'm adding. They said crazy people. I'm adding in moonbats. There are a lot of crazy people. And they're going to go to these grocery stores and they're going to start to shoot the place up. So, in other words, this is inflammatory, incendiary, reckless, irresponsible rhetoric that I'm telling you see in third world socialist countries. They are becoming unhinged, deranged. And instead of saying, we blew it, our policies blew it on inflation, on the border, on the economy, on crime, that's why we lost. We have horrible ideas and we had disastrous policies. Nope. Notice, they blame everybody else but themselves. The American people, racist, sexist, misogynist. Women now are misogynist. I swear to you. Black men are racist. Latinos, they can't stand Latinos. Welcome to the club. You're now the new white supremacists. Everybody, Jews are to blame. Arab Americans are to blame. As I said last week, after a while, you're going to look around and you've vilified every voting bloc. Either you're crazy or they're all crazy. And I got news for you. We're not crazy. Your calls next. 8:49 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, trust me when I tell you this. You're going to want to hear this story at 9 o'clock. Oh, man. Okay, a lot of reaction to Whoopi Goldberg calling grocery store owners and gas station owners as well price gouging pigs. This is what 617 texted in. By the way, you can text us 70470. 70470. Jeff, the pigs are the ones sitting on national television, raking in $1 million salaries, living in the lap of luxury, i.e. Whoopi Goldberg, while they crap on everyone else, the little people. Bingo. The only price gouging pig that I see is, well, what does Whoopi Goldberg make? Well, really, millions and millions and millions, spewing out the most idiotic, hate-filled comments you can ever find anywhere. And she's going on about grocery store owners being pigs on a 1% profit margin. I'm sorry. I mean, it's disgusting. Honestly, it's disgusting. 617-266-6868. Agree, disagree. Kim in Brighton. Thanks for holding, Kim. And as always, welcome.
Good morning, Jeff. Thank you so much for taking my call.
My pleasure, Kim.
On October 30th, I arrived back from El Salvador, and we had spent a week there, and maybe you've heard of their president, Nayib Bukele, and what he's done to El Salvador to make it the safest country from when it used to be in 2015 the murder capital of the world. And he built CCOT, and he arrested over 81,000 of the worst criminals, and they're in a maximum security prison. And I could not believe how fabulous the country was. I'd been to 11 countries in Central and South America. It's my favorite place to go for bird photography. And what he did was now considered extreme. There are a lot of so-called human rights activists who feel that he did a horrible thing. I have to say it is the only way. And Trump doing this is the only way to cure our problems of the illegals. They can't stay. We have to make a choice as a country. Either we cater to the criminals or we get back to being America and law-abiding country. And one of the things that Bukele has always said was he asks, why should the comfort of criminals supersede the rights of law-abiding citizens? I asked everybody at the Hilton, tour guides at the airport. I asked everybody what they thought of Bukele, and everybody loved him. He is on mugs, aprons, T-shirts, and people feel that they have their lives back because, as he said, yes, he has imprisoned thousands, but he's freed millions. And there have been a lot of innocent men who got rounded up. When you arrest 81,000, there are bound to be a few innocent people, and they've released over 7,000 people who were not gang members. But the fact of the matter is, I really, someone should ask Maura Healey, are you listening to yourself that you're going to take the Guatemalan child rapist and his rights are more important than the taxpayers of Massachusetts? People really need to start asking them, whose side are you on? And what are we doing here? And how much longer are we going to accept this criminal behavior from these politicians? Those are the questions we need to ask.
Oh, brilliant. Look, Kim, honestly, let me put it to you. Is Maura Healey, in your view, a traitor?
There are really no words for her. She's horrible. She is a horrible person. The government only has one task, as it were, one responsibility, and that's to protect U.S. citizens. And she's not doing it. Ergo, it should be very simple, and she needs to go. But if there's no provision for recalling her, I don't know why they keep winning in Massachusetts. I think it's just a doomed state.
Well, I think what you're starting to see already a shift. I mean, even many Democrats are saying privately they were shocked at the election because Trump did so well in many towns, many cities, many counties that they're starting to see, if we're not careful, you're going to see a real two-party system develop here fast. And this is what Healey is setting up, because you're dead on. There are no words to describe her. The federal government's job is to secure and defend the borders and the national sovereignty of the United States. As you put it, to defend and protect American citizens. That's its primary responsibility. That's what the Constitution clearly says. Now, she's not only going against federal immigration law, she's not only going against the will of the voters, she's not only going against President Trump and the overwhelming mandate, but as you rightly put it, she's engaged in naked treason against law-abiding citizens here in Massachusetts. She's not just inviting illegal alien criminals to come. She's now saying, and giving them all this free stuff. But what she's saying is, their rights supersede your rights, Kim, my rights, and everyone else in Massachusetts. That's what she's saying. And Kim, this is the part that I don't get, okay? You know my position. Every illegal alien, period, should be rounded up and deported. Okay? Period. I don't want people to misunderstand me. But we're not talking about an illegal alien who's working under the table at a restaurant or at a diner or whatever and collecting welfare on the side. What we're talking about now, and this is what Trump is concerned about immediately, on day one, is MS-13, as you mentioned, El Salvador. Gangbangers, drug dealers, convicted criminals who are, I'm not just talking the crime of coming into our country illegally, child rapists, child molesters, people convicted of homicide. And you defend them? You stand there and say, I'm not ordering state law enforcement. State police is not going to cooperate. So the state police now is not going to go after convicted criminals? Are you, lady, you're insane. To me, this fight alone shows she is unfit to be governor. She is morally unfit, politically unfit, intellectually unfit. She's got to go. She's got to go. She's got to resign. And part of me is I hope she follows through on her threat. I really do. I'm going to give you the last word, Kim. Look, part of me says, yeah, go toe-to-toe with Trump. I dare you. When he cuts off the federal funds, and then House Speaker Ron Mariano, and he will call her, and he'll say, hey, look, we're already going broke now with federal money because of the billions we're diverting towards all these migrants. Now we're going to have no federal money? Like, what do you want to do? You want to destroy the state? Now, either she capitulates, which would be a devastating political defeat for her. Her national ambition's over. And it may even cost her re-election. Or the whack job says, yeah, we'll go on without federal funds. And then raises everybody's taxes because we're all on the hook. And simultaneously turns this state really into a third world hellhole. So I'm like, okay, hey, lady, you want to commit political suicide? Go ahead. But this is not going to end well for you. So there's something mentally wrong with that woman. You can see that. She's not right in the head. Anybody with half a brain would realize, complain, whine, play to the galleries, go on MSNBC, but don't actually block the deportations. Trump's actually doing her a favor. It's bleeding the Treasury and this state dry. Billions of dollars. Today's Veterans Day, okay? It's, as you know, Kim, there's no money for the veterans. Here, we did the big annual radiothon. This is what the disabled vets told me to my face. Okay? Guys in wheelchairs. People suffering from Parkinson's because of Agent Orange in Vietnam. Men who did several tours in Vietnam. Jeff, there is no money for us for housing. There's no money for us for health care, for mental health. Nobody cares about us. Yet all we see is billions of dollars going to migrants in this state or hundreds of billions going to Ukraine. Here, I got a poor wife of a Vietnam vet who now can barely walk, can barely move because he's crippled by Parkinson's. And she says to me, thank you, with tears in her eyes, for helping my husband out, raising money so we can take care of him. Because our government has turned their back on us. You know what it is to take a man to the bathroom every day? I'm sorry, but you know what it is to wipe his you-know-what after he goes to the bathroom? To bathe him? He can't walk. He needs your constant attention and care. And the amazing thing is, and this is the part where I get teary-eyed, I asked him point blank, I said, look at all that you've suffered. Look at all that you're enduring. Look at you now. Would you do it all over again for your country without even hesitating? without, in the blink of an eye, yes. For this country, for our freedoms, he goes, I would do it all over again. No second thoughts whatsoever. So we don't have money for him, but we've got money for these disgusting leeches, these illegals, and we've got money for that gangster in Ukraine. I'm sorry, Kim. I'm drawing. This is my red line. Veterans have told me they're sleeping on the streets. There's no shelter for them. I gotta raise money for the disabled American veterans so that they can get meals driven to veterans who are hungry. Hungry. But she's gonna go to the mat to protect MS-13 machete-wielding gangbangers and murderers? She's not a traitor. I'm telling you, it's worse than a traitor. This woman is the personification of evil. She's sick, she's demented, and it's time we taught her a lesson. Final word to you, Kim.
Well, to quote President Bukele, obviously Maura Healey cares more for the comfort of this Guatemalan child rapist than she does for the poor child who was raped, and that says it all.
Kim, drop the mic. Kim, thank you very much for that call. Okay. All right. Obviously, we're going to continue to take your calls. You got to hear this story. Okay, you got to hear this story. I put it up on X last night. It is going everywhere. It is viral. You can check it up yourself. Don't take my word for it. Just go to @the Kuhner Report, all one word, KUHN as in national ER. So listen now to this, okay? I am sick and tired. I don't know about you, but I'm really now getting sick and tired of vile, violent leftists who keep threatening Trump voters. I'm sick of it. It's enough. Marianne Ludlow called earlier, and they're threatening her, and they're threatening her disabled child, her special needs child. And now they're saying the child should be taken away from her because, God forbid, she voted for Trump, the guy who won the election. Well, listen now to this. Her name is Sarah Murray. S-A-R-A-H, Murray is normally spelled M-U-R-R-A-Y. She is a school board member at Millbury Memorial Junior Senior High School. She's a school board member, a committee member, school committee member at Millbury Junior Senior High School. She went on X and posted online. She posted online. And I have to be careful because she used obscenities, and I'm going to get fined. So I got to be careful how I phrase this. Okay. But this is what she said, that all Trump supporters should choke on a piece of, clean it up, on a piece of crap covered in broken glass. She's now literate. This is a school board member. In fact, I'll read you exactly what she said. Okay, this is in reaction to Trump's victory. Quote, "Thank goodness we have a piece of, I can't say it, a piece of crap. Thank goodness we have a piece of crap covered in broken glass instead of a well-qualified, intelligent, capable woman." I can't say this. I'm going to get fined. I'm going to clean it up. F you, Trump supporters. I hope you choke on it. So, in other words, I want you to choke on a piece of crap, excrement, can't say it, covered in broken glass. Now, a couple of words, and then I want to go right back to you. As I said on X, and it's gone everywhere now. When I say it's gone viral, it is everywhere. This thing has really touched a chord with a lot of people, not just in this state, around the country. This sick, vile woman has no business being anywhere near children. This is a school board committee member. This woman, in theory, dictates school policies. And she's now, and this, as I said, this woman is near children? Are you kidding me? Peddling this kind of vile hatred against the parents of many of these children? And obviously some of the kids themselves? Because let me tell you what's also happening, not just in Massachusetts, around the country, but I can tell you this. Ashton told me on his bus, Ava told me on her bus, that the day after the election, you had students spontaneously on their own clapping and cheering that Trump won. Many of them actually saying prices, this is kids, I'm talking 5th, 6th graders, saying prices are going to be lower. Yay! And they were chanting, Trump, 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 Trump. Ashton said, I couldn't believe it. People were high-fiving me. Ashton was saying, all my friends were like, yeah, my parents voted for Trump. We're so happy. Life's going to be so much more affordable now. Everything's going to be cheaper. This is in California. In California. Okay, so it's not in Mass, it's in California. Beverly Hills. Listen now to these students. This is what I'm telling you happened on my son's bus and on my daughter's bus. And then other parents have told me in different schools, in different towns, here in Mass, it happened on their children's buses where the kids spontaneously are like, Trump, 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 Trump. This is now California. Roll cut 11, Mike.
4 more years!
Okay? They're chanting 4 more years, 4 more years, 4 more years. Why? Because they got a future now. That's why. Hey, everything is going to be cheaper, but jobs, maybe a career, maybe you can afford rent when you eventually move out from your parents' place, whoa, hey, the American dream, oh my God. That's why the kids are like, ah. By the way, that's why the youth vote went for Trump. He won 18 to 29-year-olds, okay? But I digress. Let that go. I want to go back to Sarah Murray, school board committee member. You're around children. You dictate school policy. You're supposed to set an example. And you're telling all Trump voters, all Trump supporters, that they should eat a piece of, I can't say it, a piece of excrement covered in broken glass. Choke on it. Choke on it. She's got to go. She's got to go. As I said on X, she must resign. I've had enough of this. And I hope all of you have had enough. I said this to Grace last night. Hey, look, you want to go on X and express your opinion, God bless you, it's a free country. You want to rant and rave against Trump and Trump voters, that's a free country. But I'm really now getting sick and tired of these constant calls for violence and death against people for exercising their democratic choice, their right to choose the presidential candidate of their choice. And you're a person of authority? You're a public person? especially when it comes to children. This has no place in the classroom. It has no place in any education environment. It's time these vile leftists are held accountable for their vile, hate-filled, and honestly threatening words. These are death threats. Enough is enough. How much more of this are we going to continue to take? She's got to go. Sarah Murray, Millbury Memorial, Junior, Senior High School, has to go. And so what I'm urging the parents at Millbury to do, and frankly, every parent, not just in Massachusetts, in New England and around the country, flood that school with phone calls. Demand that the school board hold an emergency meeting where parents and every other concerned taxpayer and citizen should show up and demand that this crazy, violent moonbat step down and resign. I'm sick and tired of the violent rhetoric being leveled at Trump supporters. Are you? 919 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. By the way, many of you are texting the Kuhner Man, emailing the Kuhner Man, messaging the Kuhner Man, saying, Jeff, can you give that person's name again? Okay, number one, it's on my X feed. If you just go at the Kuhner Report, Kuhn as in National ER, you'll see the post, the tweet, or the X that I made. But her name is Sarah Murray, Murray, Sarah, Sarah, and she is you can look it up. I mean, don't take my word for it. She is a school committee member at Millbury Memorial Junior/Senior High School. Now, I can just tell you this. You take this to the bank, okay? If I went on the air and said all Kamala supporters or all Kamala voters should go and choke on a piece of, I can't say it the way she said it, on a piece of crap covered in broken glass, I'm gone. I'm gone. I don't even get to finish the show. It's like, whoa, you're inciting violence? You're inciting murder? I mean, like, just on and on and on and on. Okay, never mind the FUs and you got to see her post. So, now look, we can just roll our eyes and say, oh, that's just moonbats being moonbats. I think it's time we taught them a lesson. No, I'm sorry, there were red lines. No, you're not going to dehumanize us anymore. You're not going to treat us like we're scum. This is no more. No, you're not going to smear and slander and constantly threaten us, violently threaten us. And if you do that, you're going to pay the price. Enough is enough. It's no longer open season on Trump supporters. We are now the majority. We won the election. Deal with it. Agree, disagree. 617-266-6868. Okay, very quickly, I want to play one more cut. And this is now the reaction. It's happening in high schools and middle and elementary schools all around the country. I'm using Mass as an example, but here, California, okay? This is Maximiliano Perez. He is a teacher at Moreno Valley High School in California. So, and notice, by the way, and this is going to be a pattern you're going to notice now for the next 4 years. California, Massachusetts, throw in Illinois or New York here and there, but it's going to be these 4 moonbat states where you're going to see all of this insanity coming from. Okay, I know there's Oregon and Washington State, and I get it, Connecticut and Rhode Island, but I'm telling you, the action is going to be from these 4 states, and especially California and Mass, the People's Republic of Massachusetts. It's going to be almost like an arms race. Who can out-moonbat, out-hate Trump, out-never Trump each other? So, This is a teacher, a high school teacher in California, Moreno Valley High School. And again, like many young people, they see a future, they see lower prices, they see jobs, lower rent, in other words, hey, we could actually achieve the American dream. Oh my God. So they're excited and happy about a Trump victory. No. It is now verboten. Listen to this tirade. Roll cut 12, a mic.
This is not a game. Does that make sense, everybody? Can't emphasize this enough. Can you end up in a concentration camp in your lifetime? Yes. Can you end up with no human rights? Yes. Will it happen to you? Most likely not. Which is a good thing. But has Donald Trump quoted Hitler? Yes. Does he embody some of Hitler's ideas? Yes. Donald Trump won because we had low voter turnout. People didn't want to vote. He won because white women didn't show up and vote for Kamala Harris. He won because black men and brown men didn't show up and vote for Kamala Harris. Let me tell you, I know a lot of Latino men on this campus, adults and students, that love Donald Trump. And he's called their mothers rapists. He's called their fathers rapists. He's called them criminals. He called them the poison in the blood of our country. They want to vote for him, and they did vote for him.
Fire his ass. Do you know what a grotesque abuse of power that is on so many levels? First of all, it's all lies. They're the ones going on about misinformation, disinformation. Let's do it in the proper Russian. Misinformatio. Everything that he said to these students is 1,000% pure, unadulterated bullcrap. It's pure disinformation, okay? That's number one. Number two, you're turning now the classroom into a political soapbox? What am I, at a Kamala Harris rally? Or are we in a high school? The classroom is not there as a forum for you to nakedly brainwash and indoctrinate the children, your students. Whatever this guy's teaching, whether it's math, geography, physics, I don't care what it's taught, English, that's not what he's teaching. This is pure brainwashing, pure propaganda, but more than that, it's pure incitement. Concentration camps, you're going to lose your human rights. He's Hitler. He's Hitler. The parents need to demand that this left-wing Marxist communist, who clearly doesn't understand the proper role of a teacher, is not there to indoctrinate, but to educate in the field of their expertise, needs to go. And that's what I'm saying, my friends. We've got to now stand up to these Trump haters. Enough is enough. Your calls next. 9:32 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, this just came in about a minute ago. And I know this person. I know this person actually very well. He's a dear friend of mine, big supporter of the show. So I trust him, not 100, but 1,000%. I want you to listen to him. Please listen to what he just said. Here is what he texted me. Jeff, the constant 8+ years of Democrat propaganda caused a friend of mine to slice his throat, thinking that the Republican militia was coming to get him, put us in concentration camps, set up gas chambers, and he wanted to buy some illegal guns to protect himself. All of it because of the fantasy version of Donald Trump. It scared him almost to death, quite literally. So this fear-mongering, this propaganda, this hate, this violence that they're pushing, whether it be in California high schools or in Millbury High School, because of that Sarah Murray, that school committee member, and all of it, from the media, from Biden, from Harris, so terrorized this liberal friend, of this person that I know, that this person literally took a knife and slit his own throat. I mean, I guess he survived, but slit his own throat. Thinking, well, I should kill myself now because they're going to throw me in a gas oven. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. That's why we need to speak out, and that's why we need to say enough is enough. Agree, disagree. Nancy in Attleboro. Thanks for holding, Nancy, and welcome.
Good morning, Jeff.
Hi, Nancy.
I have a comment to make, and I would need a few minutes, and I would like everyone's opinion, please. First of all, the first thing is, I cannot have another sucky birthday this year. My birthday is January 20th. Thank goodness, it's going to be a great birthday. Mm-hmm. On January 21st, I would like the Trump administration to please listen to my plea here and my idea and what I propose. First, January 21st, I would like in place the beginning of the order, the executive order, to finish the wall. It's not going to happen overnight. Nothing does. There's too much resistance. Get it in place. Second, I want the January 6th, the same day, to be placed in protective custody and released. But things come in threes. So the third thing I want proposed, I want the law-unabiding constitutional governors of all the states that are arresting Trump and the administration staff to heed this warning. It will be an automatic walking papers with an executive order. Therefore, they are stripped of all their benefits, and they no longer get their pension, and they are replaced with somebody who is going to be law-abiding and work for the people of the United States. And lastly, my last point, what I think of the Democrats, I will spell out the word. They are full of, I saw a snake. I crossed a bridge. It started to rain. I put up my umbrella. And as far as I'm concerned, they can go home and bake cookies. What do you say?
Nancy, I love it. That's what I think. I love it. I absolutely love it. And look, that's what Trump's planning to do from everything that I've been reading and hearing. By the way, I don't know if you heard about this over the weekend. He thrilled all of us. He came out and said Nikki Haley will not be in my cabinet or in my administration. Mike Pompeo, another deep state shill, will not be in my cabinet or my administration. So it's obvious now Trump really learned from his first term. Personnel is policy. And he's going to put the right people in the right positions. And that's why he said Tom Homan is going to be my border czar. And he is going to coordinate and orchestrate the largest deportation of illegal aliens in the history of the United States. The military is going to go right on that southern border. We are going to put 20,000 troops. We are going to complete that wall. We've already spoken to the leader of Mexico. They're going to reimpose remain in Mexico. The invasion will stop, and all these illegals that came in are going to go back the way they came. They're going out. And if these sanctuary cities try to stop them, whether it be the mayors or the governors, they're going to lose all federal funds. And if they continue, you're dead on. It's time to put them behind bars. If you and I were to do something illegal, if we were to defy the law, they'd be beating down our house and arresting us. Maura Healey, just because she's a governor, or Gavin Newsom in California, or Pritzker in Illinois, or Hochul in New York, they do not have the right to openly violate the law and aid and abet violent illegal alien criminals. I'm sorry, that's obstruction of justice. So enough is enough. Arrest their ass. They want to play hardball? No problem. We play hardball. Thank you very much for that call. I really appreciate it, Nancy. 617-266-6868. Agree, disagree? Chris in Worcester. Thanks for holding, Chris, and welcome.
Jeff, baby, what's going on? I love the show. We all do. All my buddies listen to it every day.
Chris. We're on a roll, we're on a high, and we're not going to stop, my friend.
See, what we have here is whack jobs that need a tune-up at the Massachusetts Bridgewater Mental Ward. Okay? They need to open up more wards. You know, get these people on the T1 bus, get them down there, lock them up for 5 years of meds and counseling. And they can start with Sarah Murray and even pick up Maura Healey, too. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's on the Epstein list, protecting child molesters. POS. That's what I get to say, Jeff.
Chris, I'm just curious. Many, even moderate Democrats are saying, you've got to stop this invasion of Massachusetts. We're spending billions, literally billions of dollars. Just $1 billion on shelter alone for these illegals. Never mind the food, the free health care, the food stamps, the EBT, the prepaid debit cards, the Uber rides, free Uber, free dry cleaning, the catered meals. I could go on and on. And they're saying, look, really, it's bankrupting the state. Chris, if she goes forward with this threat, that if Trump cuts off all federal funds, she's then going to raise taxes on you, on me, on every taxpayer in Massachusetts, and go without federal funding for 4 years, and that the residents of Massachusetts are going to support her. Do you think the Moonbats are that crazy? Or do you think when they see that, they see the state going bankrupt and overrun with migrants, and their taxes going right through the roof, you're going to see a massive revolt against Healey? What do you think is going to happen?
Absolutely. The citizens of Massachusetts need to push back hard. And I would like to say for everybody that's listening right now, stop buying lottery tickets. Let's send a little message. You want to see how it's going to hurt the budget and where you're getting some of your money from to feed these people, chauffeur these people around, roll out the red carpets. Enough is enough.
Chris,
send a message.
Thank you very much for that call. CJ in Boston. Thanks for holding, CJ, and welcome.
Thank you for taking the call, Jeff. And
my pleasure, CJ.
Please let me say on this Veterans Day, on behalf of all veterans, we thank you for your efforts, the efforts of your staff, iHeart, and RKO.
Thank you.
Let's get right to Maura Healey. Let's get right to Maura Healey. I think what the president needs to tell these leaders, every governor and every mayor and every major city in this country, is that if you obstruct justice on an order, you will be jailed. They are allowing this to happen. You talk about costing residents. We're well over $1 billion. I think it's closer to $2 billion now that Maura Healey has put us in the hole. By the way, that Holiday Inn where I first met you, to stop the gas tax up on Route 1 in Peabody, that's got a top over it. You know who they're housing there, don't you? You guessed it. Bingo. You talk about why Massachusetts residents aren't outraged.
CJ, can you please hang on? You're on a roll. I want you to finish your thought. Hang on. I'm up against a hard break. Back with CJ. All of your calls next. 9:49 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, we're going to go right back to CJ. However, this is breaking. Now, you're going to hear about this all day today. So I just want you to know, again, what I tell you about Massachusetts and California. This is now a teacher, apparently, at a school in Boston. And this is on the libs of TikTok. She's now openly threatening to shoot people she disagrees with politically. This is what she put out on her TikTok account. Oh, you thought I was an angry feminist before? Oh, it just got worse, babe. How about I control yours? Question mark. Pew, pew, bitch, bye. Pew, pew is bang, bang. I mean, she's at a minimum suggesting that she's going to start shooting people she disagrees with politically. I think this is a clear threat. She's crazy. This woman is crazy. And again, she's a teacher in the classroom. She should be fired on the spot. On the spot. Now, remember what Mark Halperin said. Remember the reporter? He said, you watch. After Election Day, when Trump wins, you are going to see a massive mental health crisis descend on millions of Americans. And it's already started. Threatening to shoot up schools, threatening to shoot Trump supporters, telling us to, eat pieces of crap and covered in broken glass, women shaving their heads. People, as my friend texted me, people literally slicing their throats. Slicing their throats because Trump won. Abstaining from sex with men. Not because their boyfriends or husband voted for Trump, because men voted for Trump. I mean, you're seeing a collective breakdown, a complete breakdown. Now, Malcolm X famously said, I'm going to say one more thing because I want to go to CJ. Quote, only a fool would let his enemy teach his children. I couldn't agree. I mean, I didn't agree with much I didn't agree with much when it came to Malcolm X. But on this, he's completely right. We cannot have these people teaching our children. We just can't. We can't. CJ in Boston. CJ, I know you're on a roll, but I do want to ask you this because you're very smart and very perceptive. What many people are suggesting about Maura Healey is they're saying, CJ, one of the reasons why she's vowing to block, defy, and resist Trump is she doesn't want the voters in mass, the public in Massachusetts, to know that, because you mentioned many of these hotels, these Holiday Inns, that in these hotels and motels, that all these migrants that she's given shelter to, these illegals, that there's so much drug dealing going on there. Rapes, sexual assaults, fraud of all kinds, crimes of all kinds. So she wants to cover up the rampant violence, drugs, child molesting, and raping, the sexual crimes that are taking place under her nose that we're paying for in the Healy shelters and the Healy hotels. What say you, CJ? Do you think there's something to that theory?
No, yes, I do. But if I can be perfectly frank with you and your audience, I believe that Maura Healey would go down with the ship not because she has a D next to her name, is because she has an L next to her name. And it's not for liberal. She's part of a minority. She is a known lesbian. And if she lets down these so-called minorities, people will question as to whether or not who else she will turn her back on. That's my own opinion on this. But she's already hurt the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Most recently, 2 or 3 weeks ago, Eversource and National Grid stated that they were going to go up 25 to 30% on natural gas. That's to support a program mostly for low-income people, a program that we cannot take advantage of because maybe we make too much money. Instead of going to the legislature and looking for money for this, she's gone straight on to the consumers of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and hit them with the bill on increases, which I think is totally illegal. I'm not an attorney, but I do not think that people who put into a program should be excluded from enjoying that program or participating in that program. But this is what the liberals do. They're not liberals, Jeff. They're not socialists. This is the Democratic Communist Party, and it's been going on for 50 years. They've been teaching it in schools. And you know, if Malcolm X was right, that means every Democratic teacher shouldn't be allowed to teach their children, because they're turning these children into violent instruments is what they are doing. And just let me finally say this, if I may, is that when you hate a politician or a man because he wants to make the country you live in great, he wants more opportunities, regardless of whether you're red, white, blue, black, white, yellow, or red. And he wants to implement those policies to make and to keep your country great, to keep business into this country, to educate your children, to have more opportunity, have more of a future for your grandchildren. When you hate a man like that, you don't hate the man. You hate the country you're living in.
CJ, I think it's the perfect way to end the show. CJ, again, I want to wish you a happy Veterans Day. To you and all the vets, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your service. Thank you for your patriotism. May God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much for that call, CJ. Okay, my friends, tomorrow, I promise, big election on for the next Senate Majority Leader. The rhinos are trying to take it from Rick Scott. We're not going to let them, but that's for tomorrow's show. I got to go. Happy Veterans Day, everybody. Bye-bye.